What if I told you that the Miami Open 2020 SAXS most talked about player isn't the top player in the world? What if I told you that she isn't even among the top 20? Stay tuned, because what's happening on those Miami practice courts right now is a once-in-a-generation kind of story. On this Sunday, March 15, 2026, the tennis world is experiencing an unanticipated explosion. Established champions, proven wins, and well-known names served as the foundation for the WTA's whole marketing apparatus. The fans have already cast their votes, and they did not support the typical suspects, which is something that no one at headquarters wants to acknowledge. They cast their votes for Alex Eala, a 20-year-old Filipina. Furthermore, the figures are accurate. Thousands of spectators are currently at the Miami Open is swarming around a single practice court to watch Alex train, walking right past the headlining courts, and ignoring the greatest names on the circuit. Take a moment to consider that. Crowds that tournament security was unprepared for are being drawn by a player who is seated 32nd in the competition. Just to handle the surge of supporters congregating around her sessions, officials had to call in more staff. How recently did you witness that at a practice session? Not a fit. It's not a press conference. An exercise session. The Eala impact is just getting started. This is what makes it even more remarkable. Players ranked significantly higher on surrounding courts. In the world rankings, Alex performed their acts in front of crowds that were noticeably smaller. Consider what that indicates. The crowd followed the enthusiasm, which was present everywhere, regardless of rankings, titles, or seedings. As our popularity continues to soar, Alex Eala tournament insiders are subtly raising eyebrows, and some are doing much more than that. They are beginning to pose serious doubts regarding court assignments and scheduling. The WTA headquarters has moved, and they only have one tournament scheduled. A whole different one is being created by the fans. But hold on, is this really possible? Is it long-lasting? More significantly, what does this signify for tennis's future as a sport? It grows even bigger from here, so keep an eye on it. Since numbers never lie, let's discuss the numbers. Her day-in-the-life video received over 94,000 views, igniting a flurry of discussion within the tennis community. Seated in 32nd place, a 20-year-old contender is producing digital engagement on par with players who have dedicated 10 years to developing their own brands. Sponsors are keeping an eye on things. The directors of the tournament are observing. Furthermore, you are really missing the wider picture if you believe that this is only about social media vanity metrics. Alex Eala is leading the way in the new digital era of professional tennis. Her attraction to a global market is now being publicly compared by industry analysts to Emma Raducanu, the player whose 2021 US Open run instantly made her a global phenomenon. Take a time to consider that comparison. Not only did Raducanu win a Grand Slam, she changed the business landscape of women's tennis while capturing the interest of a completely new audience. Eala is sparking the same trend, according to analysts, and she hasn't even peaked yet. Her expanding fan following throughout Asia, especially in China and Japan, has made her one of the most desirable up-and-coming athletes for foreign companies trying to enter those markets. Furthermore, the chats aren't the only evidence. The evidence entered Nike's world headquarters in Oregon. You did indeed read that accurately. Images from Alex Eala's visit to the Nike headquarters, where she was seen in advertising locations with tennis luminaries, shocked the tennis community. It is not a coincidence that Nike places a budding 20-year-old athlete in such a position beside well-known legends. That is a well-thought-out commercial wager on someone they think will soon rise to prominence in the sport. This is the question you ought to be asking yourself at this moment. Are you witnessing the start of a worldwide tennis superstar tale? Because the evidence is accumulating more quickly than anyone anticipated. Let's now discuss the money because there is a significant financial component to this narrative that most people are unaware of. After making it to the round of 16, Alex won about $15,720 in prize money throughout her Indian Wells career. For a player at her stage of career, that is actual, significant pay. However, the researchers claim that the prize money represents only a small portion of her overall worth. Visibility and fan interaction are just as valuable in today's sports industry as game outcomes. A player is a commercial asset worth significantly more than her present ranking indicates if she sells out practice court spaces, attracts Nike's attention, and produces six-figure digital viewership. The organizers of the tournament have already started to notice an oddity in their ticket data. Fans are actively looking for spaces to see Alex practice, which is creating an incredible demand. The organizers cannot afford to overlook this phenomena, which they did not budget for. Take a moment to consider the financial ramifications. A player's contribution to a tournament goes well beyond her performance on the scoreboard when she can increase participation and attendance at non-match events. She starts to attract attention on her own. A character. A brand. And just in front of our eyes, Alex Eala is turning into just that. Former American professional Sam Querrey recently made a statement on the Nothing Major podcast that put the tennis community into a frenzy. He said that Aryna Sabalenka, the current world number 2, might not be drawing as much attention from around the world as Alex Eala. Now, think about the context before you write that off as exaggeration. One of the most dominant players on the circuit is Sabalenka. She has won Grand Slam championships. She has years of elite experience. However, the question of whether a 32nd seed is creating more global curiosity is being discussed in public settings. That's a big statement. That represents a profound change in the way the tennis community views global appeal, fan culture, and what it means to be relevant in the current sports period. Additionally, there is another aspect of this tale that merits careful consideration. The Miami Open's late-night schedule sparked serious concerns about how competitions manage up-and-coming talent. According to reports, Alex was given late-night matches that lasted until almost midnight. This unusual time might have interfered with her preparation and slowed her momentum before one of the season's biggest competitions. However, this is what really took place. Fans stayed instead of vacant seats and silent courts. Long after midnight, thousands of members of the fervent international community known as the Pine Army stayed in those stands to support their favorite athlete. What other player in the world is currently motivating her fans to be so devoted and loyal? Superstars fill empty arenas. For future legends, devoted followers remain up till midnight. And then there is the event draw itself, which is truly thrilling because to the Miami Open structure. Alex gets a first-round bye as seed number 32, which gives her more time to prepare while other players are working through early games. What might occur in the subsequent rounds, however, is the really exciting aspect of the draw discussion. The prospect of a rematch with world number 1 Iga Swiatek is already being discussed by tennis fans worldwide. One of the most anticipated moments of the entire tournament would be if that matchup actually happened. Not because of trophies or rankings, but because of the narrative. The world's top player takes on the rising Filipino star. The 32nd seed versus the first seed. The establishment was opposed by the Pine Army. That's the kind of story that goes beyond athletics. Let's now discuss rankings because the potential outcomes in Miami are very historic. Alex is defending 390 ranking points from her incredible run to the semifinals the previous season. If she is able to dive deep once more, that is a very real possibility based on what we are witnessing. She has a real chance of ranking among the top 20 Filipino tennis players in the world. That would be more than a significant achievement. It would be a revolutionary development that changes how the nation's athletic heritage is perceived internationally. The last time Philippine tennis was addressed at this level, with this degree of fan enthusiasm and commercial attention, it was unprecedented. Recording history in real time. The atmosphere within the locker area has apparently changed, making it impossible to ignore. The players know that the attention is shifting. Previously, crowds would only congregate around well-known athletes, but this is no longer the case. There is pressure, awareness, and a clear sense that something new is happening in the sport as a result of that kind of change. Everyone on tour is aware that the discourse has shifted, albeit some players are more affected than others. As her career picks up speed, Alex is reportedly making significant investments in her professional infrastructure off the court by surrounding herself with seasoned coaches and personnel. A person riding a wave of luck wouldn't act like that. That is how someone who is developing something consciously and with long-term vision behaves. She is currently one of the most captivating athletes in professional sports, not just tennis, thanks to her mix of natural skill, commercial momentum, international fan support, and professional preparation. As the Miami Open gets underway, the entire tennis community is wondering this. Can Alex Eala pull it off once more? Can she make another strong tournament run out of this incredible surge of momentum? Can she make history for Philippine tennis by placing in the top 20? And if the Pine Army keeps expanding, showing up in those numbers, and turning ordinary tournament moments into thrilling fan experiences, Is there a professional tennis force strong enough to stop this? Based on all we are currently witnessing, the answer is very likely not. There is a true Eala impact. There are actual crowds. The figures are accurate. The collaboration with Nike is genuine. It is true that history is being made. The tennis world may witness the next phase of one of the sport's most remarkable and unexpected ascent at the Miami Open in 2026. If this article has captured your attention, hit the like button immediately, subscribe to ensure you don't miss any updates from Miami, and leave a comment with your prediction. Is it possible for Alex to rank in the top 20 this season? Let's give the Pine Army a clear voice. Eala Laban.